So if US dollar would cease to be the world reserve currency, and China, Russia and other nations together would create a new one, this would basically empower China to do more of its own thing in the world, not being hampered economically, at least, by the US. And that raises the question, what does China want? What does China want to achieve in the world? And I came across an article by Gideon Rachman in the Financial Times from 2007, in which he describes a visit where he goes to China with a delegation. And he basically says that China has, of course, the risk of social unrest, for which it needs to have strong growth, economical growth. Well, that's one issue that China will face in the next years, because, of course, if Peter Schiff is right and there is a decoupling and the trade shifts between China and the US to China and Europe, then that still takes some time to rev up, to get up to speed. And in the meantime, there is a risk of social unrest. Of course, there are many workers that have gone home to the farms where they, or the rural areas in China where they came from, and well, we have to wait and see how that works out for the country. But interestingly enough, in the bottom of his list, he has a list of things that he learned. He writes about nationality or nationalism in China. Beijing-based journalists reckon that China has taken a nationalistic turn under Hu Jintao, who became president in 2003. The days when Chinese would lean over backwards to help foreign investors are over. These days, foreign businessmen are finding the going increasingly tough. Chinese foreign policy is also increasingly assertive and is underpinned by an assumption that the West is ultimately hostile to the rise of China. Ultimately hostile. One Westerner I met who teaches at a Chinese university said he was disturbed by how many of his pupils had been told during the course of their education or military training that eventual conflict between China and the United States and Japan was inevitable. So in Chinese schools and military training courses, and if the war and the conflict between China and the US was said to be inevitable already in 2007, of course, if the US runs out of all its resources and money, it won't have lots of military power, and maybe there won't be a conflict. That would be a good outcome, I guess.